Hi guys, thank you for joining the second part of our Google Analytics webinar. We are Reap Digital, we are a data-driven digital marketing agency, and we are a company that helps you transform your marketing efforts with the help of analytics. A few key clients that we have includes Google, WSO2, Dialog, KPMG, and other global businesses. And today we have Niroshan Samuel and Duminda Sanjeeva and myself as the speakers. So let's get to the webinar right away. Remember, yesterday we spoke about the measurement framework. So from the measurement framework, we have extended into an implementation framework. So if you look at it, you see the first goal is to increase sales. The next is the objective is to improve the average order value. So the KPI that you need to measure if you are meeting that objective is the average product price. And the implementation that you need to do in order to track this is an e-commerce implementation. And if you take the second example, increase contact form fills is the objective. So you want to increase more the number of form fills that you are getting, and the KPI is the form fill conversion rate. So the implementation is a form fill track that you need to have. So you can track the form fills as well. And I'll take another small example. If you want to improve social shares, a lot of people are very concerned, very keen on getting social shares. So the KPI is social shares per session. So how exactly are we meeting that KPI? And the implementation that you have to do is implementation is where you set up tracking in a way that you can track all the social shares. So Duminda here will take you in detail how to do this kind of implementation and how to think about implementation in a very holistic manner, how to track everything that you need so that you can understand if you are meeting your KPIs, if you are meeting your objectives, and finally if you are reaching all the goals that you have set for yourself. Duminda?
Thank you, Malinder. So I will, in the next few slides, I will go take you through how you can do some basic and advanced tracking, and also give you a rough idea about custom dimension metrics and calculated metrics, how you can use Google Advanced Segments, and also finally how you can utilize Google Alerts available. So if you take general e-commerce product page, there are many elements that we can track. For example, in the screen you can see that we can capture, if you take an fashion e-commerce page, you can track the color, size guide views, drop down values, etc. So if we take an example where how a link tracking will be useful in your business, let's take in this particular client here, it sells wholesale items online. So the sales cycle is a little bit long. So normally the purchase happens offline. So in that side there are product catalog available. So we want to identify the users who are downloading this product catalog, because ideally that segment represents a set of visitors that shows interest toward the products available in the site. So we track every click on happens on download button, and as a result we can identify a segment that that shows very high interest in this product. So as the next case, if you take a fashion e-commerce site, people normally added products to cart, but essentially they are not converting at that very moment. So if we enable tracking in such type of a button, we can identify a segment that that add products to cart, which shows the intention, but if we exclude the segment that converts, then we have a set of people that shows high interest towards our product. That means they are very likely to convert when compared to an average visitor. So let's take what's the importance of capturing a drop-down input. Let's take a travel website which provide different kinds of experience for people. So when a visitor comes to site and he search for a specific destination and specific type of experience, let's say a person is using for safaris. So he will select, he will make his selection and go through the site, get the available data, and probably he will compare those data with the competitor's site. So if he can capture the type of experience that he is searching, and at the end we can target them to remarketing campaign, specifically targeting that Safari experience related with that to a package. So the interest will be high because we are not triggering generic remarketing. We are doing a personalized, we are sending a personalized message based on his interest. So that's some use cases where we can have basic implementation. Going beyond that, we can implement advanced tracking solutions, like if we, let's say we have videos on our site, so we can gather the video stats, how users engage with them. So if we have, and again, forms are very common elements in a site, so we can also track the form activities related to form fields. So let's go through some use cases where how these kind of implementations going to help you drive business goals. So if you have a lead generation site, for example, probably there won't be any thank you messages once a visitor submit the particular form available. So ideally, what then we will have to rely on Google Tag Manager to fire an event when a successful submission happens. So based on that, we can set a analytics goal to track our main KPI, which is the ultimate number of leads. So that is the tracking number of leads is very important, because the overall marketing campaign can be optimized around that. So if we, let's take another example where form with a very long list of form fields. So ideally we want to track the effectiveness of the form. If people may be dropping due to the large number of fields available in the form. So we can ideally what we can do is we can track the visitor activities in each and every form. So activity means whether people are filling or not. Is there any particular field that gets skipped a lot? So if you can gather such type of data, then you can optimize the form fields. You can find a way to alternatives, how you can improve the ultimate effectiveness of the form. So this in this our use case 6, we took a real case where this client represent a very large e-commerce site. So that e-commerce client also had a very large number of sales agents throughout the countries. That sales agents are also placing orders on behalf of their customers. So business problem was to how to identify sales coming through sales agents, and how to identify the real customer conversions. So for each and every sales agent are provided with a specific unique booking code. So when a sales agent places an order, he uses a unique booking code in the booking code field. So in the checkout page, what we did was we capture that each and every booking code, enter into the checkout page, and populate that data store the data as a custom dimension in analytics. So at the end, what we were able to do is that we were able to distinguish the sales coming through agents and sales happening through real customers. So we can analyze, we were able to analyze the data related to customers and sales agents. So another example would be to let's say we have a form where we capture people's visitors designation as well. So another tracking implementation is that we can also populate custom dimensions with available data that people fills in through forms. So in this example, if we can capture information such as designation, very marketable information, and populate it to Google Analytics in a custom dimension. And also one thing to remember is that we cannot populate data such as email, which are personally identifiable information. Other than that, very generic data we can populate to analytics. So what we can do is we can see how different designation affect the ultimate conversions. We have a real case study where we were able to improve overall remarketing CPA by triggering a very personalized designation based remarketing campaign where we decreased the average CPA by 82%. Another example of optimizing the form fields that let's say we have a field where each user has to fill their country, but what we did was we capture the particular IP address that user has and then match that IP address to that particular geolocation, and we were able to uh, optimize the conversions because there's no need for user to fill in the country because we already had that accurate data using the IP address. So that ultimately increased the conversion by 13%. Then another tracking solution is that when we have videos in our site, we would like to know how visitors engaged with our video content. Let's say we can if we can track the play post rate and also the percentage time user played those videos. So if we can populate these data as events, what we can ideally do is we can find how people are engaging with videos and get insights related to videos. And also we can identify a segment of visitors which was very high interest towards our brand, our products, our site, because if they are engaging our content means that they show interest. So we have a real case study where we were able to improve conversion rate just uh, to remarketing to the different audiences where we segmented them through percentage amount of they played. So 70%, 75% means that they are highly interested in our conversion, interested in our content. So they shows very high conversion rate. Actually, the improvement is we monitored 17%. Then I'll take you through some what are the custom dimension and metrics. By default, Google has a lot of dimensions and metrics available. So if our site has some data, for an example, as I mentioned earlier, that if you want to capture the booking code of a sales agent, and what we can do is we can ideally populate that data as a custom dimension. Custom dimension would be, as you can see, the booking code, and it will record available booking codes. So this is not something that comes default. So this is customer specific, website specific. So we can do implementation such as like this one, so that it will help when we are analyzing our data. And also I'll take an example and explain you. So in Google Analytics, the e-commerce conversion rate is calculated based on sessions. But what if we want to calculate the conversion rates based on the particular number of users? So that's where calculated metrics are gonna help us. So what we can do is we can get the number of transactions and divide it by number of users. Then it will display the e-commerce conversion rate per user. So likewise, depending on the requirement, depending on the situation, we can do certain calculations, certain basic calculation, and have our own metrics uh, to analyze the data. Then I'll take you through custom dashboards. We can create custom dashboards for monitoring purposes. Specifically for managerial level, we can collect the data and show it in one place. So if you want to analyze your SEO efforts, organic traffic, you may want to go through different Google Analytics reports. But ideally, through custom dashboards, what we can do is we can gather the summary of data to different areas and display it in one place where we can easily monitor the what's happening, rather than going into each individual report separately. So they are very useful in reporting purposes. Then we have custom reports. Google by default provide a lot of reports. They are very useful, but at sometimes we want to create our own reports for our own analysis. For an example, let's say we are running an e-commerce site and we want to know how users behave, how the e-commerce conversion rates vary throughout the day. So what we want to get as a dimension is that we want to hourly data, based hourly data, and we want to get the metrics, e-commerce conversion rate metrics, and blend it to a one report and see how it varies. So in such instances, we will have to use our own combination and create our own report to help to fulfill our task. Then also another implementation that we can do is Google enable us to segment visitors based on very different logical conditions and sequential conditions. For example, this is where a middleware company which had a lot of products, and also they had a large documentation site providing all the necessary information related to their product. What we want to identify is that how effective this documentation provide to the end user. So we created a segment which is a sequential segment as per requirement through. So what we initially was, we took the visitor segment of visitors who goes to product page, then to documentation, then ultimately to the lead. So we implemented this advanced segment, and noted that there's a high impact in documentation in ultimately converting these users into lead. So advanced segments are very useful in doing analysis, because we can dissect to very granular level and extract insights. Then Google also provide report and alert automation. So in this case, I will show you how useful it is. So this particular report is related to a fashion e-commerce customer. So when a visitor want to when visitor selects a particular size of a particular product, so if that size is out of stock, what the website will do is that it will trigger a pop-up message saying that the particular size is out of stock. So what we wanted to is to capture all these pop-up messages, the instances, and populate that data as events to analytics. So how it will help? How it will be helpful to the to the business owner? So what we can do is that it will record all the sizes that are giving this out of stock message and the particular product. So at the end, we can we automated the report monthly and weekly basis, so that the business owner can get an idea about the particular demand that it had has for a particular product and type of product. So ideally, what we can do is that based on these reports, we can optimize the product sizes for a certain type of, and also very as a whole. So again, the alerts are again a very useful feature. For example, I'll explain this in a very common example. So if you are running a very large e-commerce site, there are 404 error pages are very common issue, because the products tend to get out of stock, and if that happens, normally some of the pages some of the products may get out of stock, but or product the business owner would may not know. So if a visitor goes to a page where there has an error, so what it will do is that it will alert it will send an event to analytics saying that this particular URL gives an 404 error pages. So at the end of the day, what we can do is we can monitor these, then we can create automated alerts. So if these getting accumulated, we can get corrective actions to reduce the number of alerts, reduce the number of error pages. So all these uh, with all these tracking implementation, we can gather data, and through reports we can monitor data. But ideally, what we want as the next step, we want to derive insight using these data. So Niroshan will go through these and show you how to derive data, how to derive insight using these data. Over to you, Niroshan.
Thanks, Duminder. So I think you got the correct idea and the brief explanation about how to track events and how to track forms and YouTube video. So actually, we looked at Google Analytics stat across 20 shopping websites in Sri Lanka in last 30 days. So we got 1.5 million session with this whole e-commerce website, and also 9 million page views. Since you can track now goals, YouTube videos, page views, and bounce rate, conversion, and everything, you will get tons of data with your Google Analytics. But more importantly, you need to find way to get insight out of those data. So data is useless without skills to analyze it based on Harvard Business Review. So that you need to have skills to analyze and get actionable insight and execute that insight so that you can see the results. Because this data provide just numbers. If you can get insight, insights provide hypothesis for you. So you need to test those hypotheses and verify and implement so that you can get a business growth. So let's start how to get insight out of these data. And we actually practice two methods to get insights. First one is segmentation, because Google Analytics provide more than 50 dimensions and more than 50 metrics. So you will be able to segment and see how your customer behave, and you can see segment and identify profitable segment and identify unprofitable segment. So second method is to find commonalities. You can open a landing page report, or you can open a conversion rate report. Then you can find what is the common characteristic between top performing campaigns and what is the common characteristic between lowest performing campaigns. So you can identify commonalities. So to understand the commonalities, you should have business knowledge and also analytic knowledge to get that out of your data. So let's start with segmentation. So segmentation, if you can segment Google Analytics reports, so because Google Analytics reports, there are tons of reports and also dimensions. You can add dimensions, and if you can segment it, you can find profitable segment and also unprofitable segment. So let's consider one example. In this example, we are going through a device level segmentation. You can see desktop conversion rate is 2.51 and also tablet 1.50, mobile 0.78. From this basic report, we can say that desktop campaigns are profitable and also mobile campaigns are unprofitable. So if you know that, you can actually allocate budget on profitable budget on desktop campaign, and you can work on mobile campaign, and also you can tweak or you can work on the mobile landing pages. Maybe your website is not mobile friendly. So if you understand the correct segment, so let's see how you can utilize it. So in this example, you can see there are multiple segment, profitable segment, unprofitable segment. So you can expand profitable segment, you can create dedicated campaign for profitable segment, and you can replicate those campaigns, because you know that this segment is going to give you profitable return. Let's say age 25 to 30 male is the profitable segment. You can sell them to, and you can create a dedicated campaign for them. And also we need to work with unprofitable segment. If you have found any unprofitable segment more to identify opportunities within that unprofitable segment. Let's say if you found age 20 to 25 male is unprofitable, then launch campaign 20 to 22, 22 2 to 23, so that you can find actually some of the profitable segment within the unprofitable segment. And also you need to test variation. If you found one segment is not performing well, then test different ad variation, test different variation, test different products, or test different landing pages. From that actually you can improve the make unprofitable segments profitable. If you can't find anything like that, just stop the campaign and allocate that money to profitable segment. Let's start with case studies. So in this customer, they actually a fund management company. They want to get more contact us form fields. So actually we analyzed their content segment and their influence, and we found out that people who read PDF, they actually converted better than others. So people who read PDF, their conversion rate is 3.58. That is the insight we got from that. So action item, you can plan remarketing campaign with PDF. For example, you can target people who visited to contact us page with this PDF. And also, if you can implement technology, you can actually implement a recommendation system to these visitors. Once they visited to the web page, you can recommend relevant PDF for them based on their behavior. So by doing that, actually you can have high probability to get more conversion. So another case study 5, we actually did the device level conversion rate analysis. We found that people who came through Apple devices such as iPhones, iPad, their conversion rate is high with high order value products like TV, fridge, and AC. So that we dedicated campaign for them. And also we analyzed that we found that people who came through Samsung devices, their conversion rate is high with mobile phones and mobile accessories. By understanding this behavior, so actually we understood this behavior by segmenting device level visitors by device level and understanding the products. So with this insight, actually we launched campaign through Facebook, because Facebook allow us to do campaign based on the user device. We can do campaign based on the iPhone or Samsung. So we actually launch campaign and match the correct product. And also using Google Analytics, we segmented all the users came through Apple products and all the users came through Samsung product, and we created remarketing audiences, and then we targeted them via Google AdWords with the relevant product. So we were able to achieve 20 to 40% improvement in conversion rate. We got this insight by simply segmentation. So start doing segmentation, you will find amazing insights. So we talk about segmentation. It's not that hard. You just need to understand Google Analytics reports and the dimensions so that you can try out your own. And the second one is find commonalities. As I said, we need to have business knowledge and also the analytic knowledge. So let's say let's discuss one example with Game of Thrones. I know that most of youngsters now these days watch Game of Thrones. Let's assume that we got data with weight and food consumption data for each Game of Thrones character. So our problem is to understand insight to we need to find insight to lose our weight using commonalities. So let's look at how we can do that with this data. Actually we if you need to find commonality, we need to get best performing segment and the worst performing segment. Here with best overweight segment, you can see overweight segment and also ideal weight segment. Now the challenge is we need to find what is the common characteristic among these two segments. Actually, if you watch the Game of Thrones, you will find that it's only wine, because people who consume wine, their actually weight is ideal, and people who don't consume wine, they are overweight. So based on this real life hypothetical example, the insight will be if you consume wine, you can control your weight, and the recommendation would be for an overweight person drink wine. So think about this example so that you can tune your mindset to find common characteristics within your Google Analytics report. Now let's move on to real reports within Google Analytics. You can see this landing page and the conversion rate report. So red box shows actually a lower conversion rate, and the green box actually shows the high conversion rate. So if you know the business, you need to go dig deeper and understand what is the common characteristic between these two segments. So let's move on to the real example. We had an e-commerce customer. and we saw that some of the category pages are performing better than others. So we want to understand what is the common characteristic between better performing category pages and the worst performing category pages. And we found that if the category pages has only few products, their conversion rate is going to go down, because let's say you're going to buy a TV and you're going to the TV category page, you only see two TVs, then you will disappoint thinking that this e-commerce customer has only this e-commerce website has only two TVs, which means they are not the expertise on selling TV. So I should go away from this business. So likewise, actually we improve the number of product for category pages. So we saw that conversion rate also going up and bounce rate also going down, because customer actually click the product and then go to the product page. So this is a good insight, so that you need to do the same and find commonalities, and also you need to have the business knowledge. And let's consider the case study 7, keyword analysis. And we had a customer who want to sell apartments. So he want to sell apartment across the globe, and we had a keyword like luxury apartments, retirement village in multi area. So we want to understand the common characteristic between best performing keywords and low performing keywords, and also we wanted to combine geo data also. And we found that people who search for people actually converted in countries near to Sri Lanka. They actually converted using luxury apartment, because people who are in Sri Lanka also looked at luxury apartment and then went to the website, converted. People actually search for luxury apartment in India also bought some of the apartments. So this is a good insight, because now we know that our campaign should target, if we want to target luxury apartment keyword, we should target Asian countries. And then we went further and we looked at what are the keywords converting if the country is far away from Sri Lanka. And then we found that people who search for retirement keyword, who are customers from far away from Sri Lanka, actually they converted. So based on this insight, actually we strategized our campaign, landing page, and the keyword. So we targeted geos in Asia with luxury apartment keyword, and we had a dedicated landing page for that, and we did the dedicated messaging for that. So this insight actually helped us to improve the conversion rate and also cut down our cost. So this is another example, e-commerce example. So customer had mobile and tablet category. So we want to identify who goes to which category. And also we found we wanted to find that behavior based on the age. So the light orange color shows that people who went to brand terms like Apple, Samsung, Windows. So that you can see that 18 to 24, majority of them went to the subcategory with the brand term, Apple, Samsung, or Windows. When it's come to 35 to 40, only 30% or 35% went to the brand categories. But majority of them went to the subcategories like smartphone, feature phones, which means that when you get older, you don't have brand loyalty, and you go to the subcategories. So this is a good insight. If you target older people, you shouldn't go with brand campaign. You should target subcategories like smartphone or the feature phone. If you target younger audience, 18 to 24, they are very brand loyal and they know about the brand. You should target brand campaign. This is a good insight. So from that, you can actually build a personalized website. So if you know that older people come to the website, show the subcategories. If you know that younger people come to the website, show them the popular brand. So, and also I took a Airbnb examples, because Airbnb is very known to experiment and grow their business continuously. So they wanted to improve room nights per customer in 2010 area. So they actually segmented properties with low room nights per customer, and also properties with higher room nights per customer. Then actually they found that if the image quality is high, customers is going to stay longer with that property. So this is a good insight. This is a good commonality. So if they have a very profitable rooms, which means they had very clear images and the high quality image. So they hired 20 photographers in 2010-2011 time, and they grew their business exponentially, because they hired photographers, they send them to individual properties to take high quality images. So this is also good insight. You know that now they raise money also continuously. They are growing very fast because of this experiment and using analytics. Okay, next section is we are going to touch a little bit about how to use machine learning with Google Analytics, because machine learning now coming up rapidly, and people use machine learning algorithm, and not like those days. It is not difficult to use machine learning algorithm because there are multiple tools and the multiple algorithm out there we can easily use. And also Google Analytics also we can use with machine learning, because there is a uh, programming language called R that built for machine learning and statistical model. So you can link R with the Google Analytics, pull data and do the analysis. So let's start with one example. The same customer who managed fund in USA, they had three sections of content. So they had blog, marketing insight, and fund section. We wanted to see each combination and their conversion rate. If you check the graph, first column says if someone looked at blog and the marketing insight, their conversion rate is 8%. And the second column, if someone looked at marketing insight plus fund section, their conversion rate is 10%. And if someone looked at blogs and fund section, their conversion rate is 11%. Which means if you need to improve the conversion rate, you should target blogs and funds with your customers. So you can target remarketing campaign people who viewed blog, target remarketing campaign with funds content, so that you can improve the conversion rate. We can do this. Actually, we got this information from Google Analytics. We had only 3 content sections, so that we can do it manually. Think about, we have multiple content segments, like 6. In this case, we have 6 different content segments and multiple user path. If you want to calculate how many user path, then we can actually use this equation, and there are 1956 possible visitor path. So think that you want to segment and analyze the conversion rate using Google Analytics. It is impossible, because it will take a lot of time, lot of effort and a lot of resources. So that actually we can use machine learning to minimize this time consuming task, and we can, because machine learning actually help us to calculate all the iteration and come up with the best behavior for us to replicate, so that we can actually focus on campaign optimization part without doing manual calculation and the conversion rate calculation. So this is one case study, e-commerce customer, because Google Analytics has multiple variables, as I said, so that we wanted to find best combination and the best conversion rate segments. So based on that, we actually use this mathematical model called machine learning algorithm called decision tree. So if you see the first section, you can see count of session less than 5. So here we divide customers based on their number of visitors, visits to the website. If they less than 5 visits, then they go to the left side tree, left side branch, and they visited more than 5 times, they go to right side branch. So from that, actually we can find each behavior, and we can segment and identify profitable and the high conversion rate segment. So let's go to one example. In this highlighted area, you can see conversion rate is 1.35. Actually, that segment, they visited more than 5 times, and they use the site search. So this is a good insight, because we can actually segment that group using Google Analytics and do a remarketing. Actually, we did the remarketing campaign. The next segment is that their conversion rate is 2%. So actually, their count of session is less. They visited less than 5 times, and also they viewed the video and they used mobile device. So this segment also shows high conversion rate, so that we actually launched remarketing campaign for that segment, and we were able to improve the conversion rate by 10x. So use machine learning algorithm, find common behavior and automate it and do the campaign for them, and you will get higher conversion rate. And also let's consider another case study. Here we want to predict the bounce rate based on device, operating system and browser. So if you are going to manually do that, we can't do that, because it will take a lot of time, because we will have multiple devices, we will have multiple operating system, and also we had different browsers and browser versions. So we did machine learning. We linked Google Analytics with machine learning to understand the segment with high bounce rate, very high, medium, and low. Let's consider one example, the cluster one. If you see the cluster one, you can see browser with Android, Chrome, or Safari, device category, desktop, or tablet. Operating system is not equal to Android, iOS, Macintosh, or Windows. This segment actually shows very high bounce rate, so that we actually work with our development and design team to identify this variation and minimize the bounce rate by giving the best experience to the customer. So that this is one of the example. You can do multiple analysis using machine learning because Google Analytics provide many variables and the dimension. So next step is to let's think about control experiment. This is a little bit go beyond Google Analytics, but this is important because these days the main challenge is to identify the real impact. So for example, you will invest money on Facebook, Google AdWords, LinkedIn, or YouTube. So by using control experiment, you can find that if you increase your Facebook budget by $100, what is the impact? So that you can actually allocate budget without without any fear, because you know that the exact return. If you are going to do a control experiment, you need to have two segments. One segment we call control. You will keep the same ad budget as it is, and the experiment control, we are going to increase the budget by $100. Then we see the conversion improvement. So don't track the conversion came through a Facebook tracking system, because Facebook tracking system actually shows people whoever clicked that blindly or without knowing or accidentally. So that's not the actual conversion numbers you got from Facebook. So to understand the actual numbers, you need to have this kind of control experiment. Find a control group and the experiment group, increase the budget by $100 for the experiment group, and then monitor the return on conversion from them, so that you can actually see the incremental value of them. So actually, we did the control experiment because all our e-commerce customers, they had AdWords, and we are getting tons of view through conversion. View through conversion means people actually see that, they don't click that, but later they convert. AdWords also provide these reports, but the problem is we don't know actually visitor view the advertisement or he closed the website even before those advertisement loads within the website, or we don't know that advertisement load below the fort, we don't know. And maybe sometimes we go to website, the advertisement loads in the right side, actually we don't care and we don't see, actually don't it doesn't influence us on doing the conversion. So we wanted to identify the real value of view through conversion. We did the experiment, and actually we came up with remarketing advertisement to a remarketing segment. We created two segments. One segment we showed the brand ad with the discount, and then we directed the visitors to the brand website, and then we created another ad with the false brand. This is not the actual brand. We wanted to see whether any advertisement can influence the customer or not. So we actually did this brand ad, and we directed to an unrelated Indian blog, so that actually customer, even though people click on this ad, they won't go to the website. So they don't have any way to go to the website and convert. So actually we found that if we can invest $1 in AdWords remarketing, and even though it doesn't provide us conversion by clicking that, we can get +2 conversion, because this is a remarketing campaign. This is the insight we got. So this is a good insight, because now we can invest money on Google AdWords even though we get only view through conversion. So the next part is, now we talked about how to get insight, how to derive insight from Google Analytics using segmentation and identifying commonalities. Now Malinda will continue how best we can experiment this, because all those insight give us only the hypothesis. We need to verify it by testing. So Malinda will continue how best we can test and prove it.
Thanks, Niroshan. So as Niroshan said, he took you guys to a lot of insights. So now the key question is, do we action this insight right away, or Do you know, you have an insight, but do you know what the outcome of that insight is going to be? So what you can create is you can have an hypothesis, and so we will take you through a process how to build a hypothesis and how to start testing. So first you get the insight, you have the insight with you, and then you build a hypothesis, and then you test, and then you analyze. So I will take an example of an insight and how we actually ran a test and how we also got some results. So for a online fashion brand, what we did was we looked at their search queries, and we put it into a cloud, and we realized that the higher searches are for frocks. But the thing was that there was no frocks category, or there was nothing that mentioned as frocks on the website. So this made it for people who are looking for frocks very difficult to find frocks because there was no category on the site. So what we did was, even though frocks and dresses are the same thing, the users were using the word frocks to find what they want. So what we did was we created the hypothesis that if we use the frocks and dresses words together, the increased conversion rates will improve. So what we did was we ran a test, we ran an A/B test, and we created two variations of this where we had one just dresses and one with dresses and frocks. And we saw on this variation that you guys see right now a 12% improvement on this variation. So that's one example of how you get an insight and how you can test it and how you can action it. Taking another insight, from an e-commerce customer, what we realized was that a lot of people are going from the category page. They visited subcategories without purchasing product. So we looked at, for a specific category page, what are the most visited subcategories from that category. And the hypothesis that we created was that if you highlight those subcategories within the category, that the conversion rate will improve. So we created a variation. You see the control and the variation. This is also another A/B test that we created. And we saw on the variation, again, a 12% increase, 12% improvement on the conversion rate. So talk about testing. There are three types of tests. One is an A/B test. To explain what an A/B test is, let's say you want to test out two variations. For example, you want to test the word dresses and frocks. So you create either two, you can create an A/B test where you create two landing pages where you have changed only one element and you can test it out. So that's called an A/B test, where you change only one element and you see the impact of that one element. And then we have something called a multivariate test where you change different elements. You change multiple elements and you create multiple combinations. So you might change the color, you might change the font, you might change the way that it's structured. For example, you might put a video first and then a paragraph, or maybe in the variation you put a paragraph first, video second, and then maybe an infographic. So you create a different variation with a different combination of things that has changed, and you test out what is the best combination that will give you the expected result. And then you have redirect test. A redirect test is where you create entirely two different concepts. For example, one, you create a landing page talking about how fast your product is, and then you can create another landing page talking about how reliable your product is. So then you can see if what does your consumer, what does your target audience want more? Do they want speed, or do they actually want to be reliable? So you can test these two out by creating a redirect test where all your website traffic, the website traffic that comes will be redirected into these two variations. So you can create as many variations you want and figure out what exactly if you're meeting the result that you want. So a very easy way to do this, one of the key challenges that people don't run tests is they think it's very technical, you need a lot of coding, you need a developer to do it. But now, since Google Optimize is free and Google Optimize can be used by anybody, it's very easy to run tests. So all the three types of tests that I just described is available on Google Optimize. So you can even today just go and sign up on Google Optimize and try it out. And then there is a visual editor that helps you edit elements very easily. For example, let's say you want to change the position of a button, you don't need any coding, you can just click and drag and drop and you have a different variation. And the best thing about Google Optimize is it's very easy to integrate to Google Analytics. So you can push all the data to Google Analytics and do further analysis to figure out if you're meeting the intended results that you wanted. And another thing that you can do is through Google, the tests that you are running through Google Optimize, you can push to Google Analytics and create custom segments and do very narrowed down remarketing campaigns that will help you optimize your marketing budget as well. And finally, you have a very simple reporting interface which will tell you when you start a test if it has won or not. And it's very simple, it's very clear. Even if you want to drill down to more information, it's easy to do that as well on Google Optimize. So one of the key things that you can do today itself would be to start, just log into Google Optimize, test it out, see there is a lot of help there itself. And even if you guys want to reach out for some help, we'd love to help you guys out. So yeah, be sure to test it out. And a key thing that most people or most businesses don't measure, or a key metric that most people miss out, is retention. Probably you guys have heard about the Facebook aha moment, which is that you have to get to 7 friends in 10 days. And if you get a new user 7 friends in 10 days, they will remain for a lifetime. So what Facebook did was they found this insight through a retention analysis, and they put all their efforts to make that happen. So I will show you a few key examples. Similarly, in an e-commerce business, that kind of example that you can get to improve or grow your business significantly. So this is the number of orders that has come through the first 3 months. So you will see, if you on the x-axis you see number of orders within the first 3 months, and on the y-axis you see orders from months 4 to 12. So let's say if the first month if you have made 2.1 orders, that means within the next 4 to 12 months you will only make, if you have made 1 order within the first month, you will only make about 2.1 orders in the next 4 to 12 months. If you look at it, you will see if you have made 4 orders within the first 3 months, you will make up to 6 orders within the next 4 to 12 months. So what happens is that this is the most profitable customer for you in terms of when you think of a long-term business. So this is in terms of the customer lifetime value. Anybody who has bought 4 orders within the first 3 months will buy 6 within the next few months. So you need to put all your efforts to try and push people to buy 4 products within the first 3 months. So this could be through offers, this could be through remarketing, so this could be any other way that you guys are willing to do it, but you have to push for that key insight that you have found. Another key insight is if you are first purchase, we wanted to figure out what kind of customers, what will help customers to retain, what kind of purchases will help customers to retain and buy more from the website. So what we realized was if you buy size 12 in blue, you will buy about 6 times within the next couple of months, within the next 12 months, and that's more than most other combinations of size and color. So what you can do is if you are trying to penetrate a new audience, you can push size 12 blue, and these customers will have a higher lifetime value, and these customers will buy more frequently. So that allows you to gain more revenue and get more customer lifetime value and grow your business faster. So that kind of concludes our webinar. Just to recap, the most important thing, if you guys haven't already done, is to sit down with everybody, all your stakeholders, all your people who are involved with marketing, and figure out a measurement framework. So you can be the pioneer of this. You can actually start this conversation, figure these out, how to put them down, and then you have the measurement framework in place. Then, as we spoke, we showed you an implementation framework as well, an extension of the measurement framework. According to that, you can set up the analytics. If you don't have the in-house capabilities to do analytics setup, then you can reach out to a specific, a specialized organization like ourselves, or even if you know an expert, you can reach out to them to set up your analytics in a way that you can measure everything. And then you also need to attribute all your marketing efforts, so you know what channels are working for you, what kind of content is working for you, so you can better optimize your marketing budget as well. And finally, once you have everything, you can continuously find insights, and you can continuously action those insights and gain solid results to help with business growth. So that kind of concludes the webinar today. Thank you very much for being with us. Niroshan, you want to add anything?
So actually, I think you have a good idea about how to implementation, what are the capabilities with Google Analytics, and also you know that how to get insight out of the data, and also you found that how to execute the insight and hypothesis. So follow that methodology and write us if you have anything. We would like to help you on anything or give you advice or help out of maybe analytic setup, maybe setting up the framework or getting insights. So reach us to us. If you have any question, now you can add into the chat box. We are happy to answer.
Okay, so we have a couple of questions from. Okay, Rakit wants you to unmute us but I think that's all right. Mustafa, hold on. How do you link Airbnb? Right. So the question is, how did you link Airbnb with the image quality? Wouldn't there have been many other statistics that would have also made sense to improve? Example, quality of the website, user friendliness, etc. How did you pinpoint it to the image quality?
So actually, we got that case study from the Airbnb because we will have multiple variables, as you said. That's great. So, but if you use a mathematical model, then you can find what is the most influential element. So that's how they found that. I will give you another example. We did the TripAdvisor ranking analysis because one of the customer, they listed in the 20th position. So they actually wanted to improve their TripAdvisor ranking. So we got all the numbers in terms of Colombo ranking, service level, number of reviews, how fast they reviews, all the hotels in Colombo. We analyzed that and we found that only the service level influence in terms of ranking. So we advised them to improve the service level. Their service level was 3.5 out of 5 at that time, and we predicted that if they can improve the service level by 0.5, they can improve the ranking by 5 position. Actually, they improved the service level to 4 and the ranking went up to 15. So our prediction was correct. So you can use mathematical model, then find what is the most influential factor in terms of improving your goal. So Google Analytics also you can find numbers, but there are a few statistical models. You can verify that these numbers are exactly correct, not these numbers are came through a random occurrence.
So hope that it kind of addresses your question. So we got another question. Triggering events, is it done through coding or are there any features embedded in Google Analytics? You want to take this, Duminder?
Actually, it's done through Google Tag Manager. It is not possible to do anything using Google Analytics. What we are doing is that we are firing based on, there are several techniques, different events, we use different techniques. Actually, it a little bit code involvement as well. If you for an example, if you want to do any advanced implementation, there sometimes we will have to use scripts, but for basic implementation, we can implement it through Google Tag Manager.
Yeah, so triggering events, for example, if you're looking for like button clicks or if you're tracking form fills and stuff like that, you can easily track it with Google Tag Manager, but anything advanced, you might need help of a developer. So we have got one more, okay, how to track offline conversions and upload data into Google Analytics.
So actually, yesterday also we talked about a little bit about the offline tracking. I will give a brief explanation and give one example how we did it. So if you have a website and you want to, let's say we had a website, we collected lead through the website, and later sales team verified that this lead is good or bad. Then we wanted to upload that quality leads back to the Google Analytics. So in this case, this is a little bit technical, but I will explain. Each customer form field, you need to capture customer's cookie ID. There is a Google Analytics cookie placed in your browser. So you need to go to that cookie, and there are implementation code. You automatically capture the cookie ID with each form submission. Then later, if you think that you can filter good leads and the quality leads, Google Analytics provide API called measurement protocol. So you can use, you need to write a small piece of code and then upload the Excel sheet. You can upload all the leads and their cookie ID, all the quality leads and the cookie ID back to the Google Analytics. So it will, we can fire an event, or we can do a custom dimension. We can upload all the information to Google Analytics and see how they actually good leads, where they came from. Maybe you can find their campaign performance or their website behavior of those good leads. So this is a real case for banks, because these days they are optimizing for leads. But if you can link your CRM to Google Analytics through measurement protocol, actually you can see the actual picture of your customers, not the leads. If you need more information, write to us, drop us an email. I will send implementation guideline, because since this is technical, I can't actually explain the real technical aspects right now. It's not possible. So I will drop all the information and the guidelines.
So we have got one more question asking about how we offer our analytics services. So what you guys can do is maybe drop us an email or drop us a call, but the service comes in different forms. It comes in like a retainer basis, but we can also do like a one-time implementation thing. So I think it's best to have this chat offline where we can go into detail. It depends on the requirement. So if you guys want to reach out to us and see if we can help you guys out, we'll be more than happy to have a conversation. So that kind of sums up. Thanks for being with us, and very sorry about all the honking that's going on in the background. And hopefully we upload all these recordings and all the PowerPoint decks with you as soon as possible. Thanks for being with us. See you guys soon.